Okay, let's talk about the Accuplacer exam. And I'm going to leave you with 3 math tips you need to know. So if you stick with me, I am going to be really giving you some information that you really need to be thinking about, focused on when we're talking about the Accuplacer. Now, I just said the Accuplacer. I didn't say anything beyond the Accuplacer and Accuplacer Math. But here's the deal. There is more than just one Accuplacer Math test. Okay, so we're going to talk about that here in a second. So you might be interested in one particular type, and I'll again get to that in one moment. But this will apply, what I'm going to be talking about, to all Accuplacer exams, specifically with mathematics. Now, a little bit about myself. I am a middle and high school math teacher, even taught beyond that. And I do a lot in mathematics. I actually have an Accuplacer, depending on what course you have, I have multiple different Accuplacer math test prep courses. I'm going to leave the link to those in the description of this video if that's something you want to check out. But with that being said, let's get into these 3 tips that are really going to help you out on any of these Accuplacer math exams. So the first one is know your goal. Like, what test are you taking? So I get a lot of folks that generally will reach out to me because of my math learning program, and they'll be like, well, I'm going to be taking the Accuplacer, the Arithmetic, or the QAS for this. And I'm not sure how it works with colleges, if this is a college thing or it's the student thing, but the test that they're preparing for is not the test that it's not the level of math that they want to get into. Okay, so if you're trying to get into, like a higher level and you're preparing for a lower level Accuplacer, well, right now we're talking about the next generation Accuplacers. There's the Arithmetic, there's the QAS, and then there is, which is the Quantitative, Algebra and Statistics, and then there's the Accuplacer AAF, which is the Advanced Algebraic Functions exam. So they're completely different, and they're higher, they get progressively more challenging. So you need to know your objective. Like, what are you trying to place into? Obviously, you're going to try to do the best you can on your Accuplacer, right? You're going to be like, hey, you need to know your goal. Like, what degree are you going for? What's the minimum requirement that you have? Because you don't want to be trying to study for the Accuplacer AAF exam or the college mathematics, like a higher level math, where that's like too advanced for you. So the way you have to do some research, talk to your college, know your program, know what test, be really clear on that. And I'm sure there's somebody at your school that you're looking at going to that can give you some information on that. Okay, so if they can't, at least try to do whatever research you can. That way you can kind of focus your efforts on the right Accuplacer test prep, because they're not all the same. Okay, some are much more advanced than others. All right, so the next thing you need to know is that this is a multiple choice exam, okay, which is an awesome thing, okay, in terms of math test, right? Because there's advantages on multiple choice when math tests or math assessments, or however you want to call it, have multiple choice questions. There's some real good opportunities for the things that can help you out. Let me give you a quick question. So, I'll give you a quick example. So let's say I had this particular question, and it was solve. Here, I'll just make something up. Negative 3x squared minus 10x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so you're given option A, x is equal to this, B, x is, well, it'd actually be, this is a quadratic, but let's just say x is equal to these two numbers. I'll just leave it like that. X is equal to this number, and x is equal to this number. Okay, so here's the thing, right? And this is just a real basic illustration. You look at a problem like this, okay, and this is really important, like for tests like the SAT and ACT as well. If you're going to look at this and say, okay, solve. They want the solutions to this problem. Now, in your mind's eye, you might go start running off and actually going, oh, I know how to solve that. It's a quadratic equation. I'm going to just use a quadratic formula, or da 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 da. You just start running off. Just, boom. Now, if you have the actual solutions here, okay, and let's say it was only 3 choices, A, B, C, or let's put another one, D here. Okay, x is equal to some other number. Now, what this multiple choice question is telling you is, hey, one of these guys is the answer. So if you don't know, if you're not quite sure on how to solve this, you can just start just testing solutions. You can take this solution and plug it in, plug this in, and see if it works. Okay, now that's a whole nother matter in terms of your ability to be able to check a solution, but it gives you a big option, especially when it comes to problems that are any equation problem. If you see an equation and you see A, B, C, D, or an inequality situation, those are really, really great opportunities to use the answers into the question to check, especially if you're not quite sure how to do this. So you really have to kind of think about that. Now, unlike, and this is going to get us to our last point here, unlike the SAT and ACT, those are timed exams, okay? And there is, you're going to get an actual score. So if you have the time pressure on, you could just be like, all right, I'm going to kind of solve this problem, get my solution, and hope to see it here. But if you weren't sure how to do it, you can always use the answers to kind of reverse engineer it. Very, very, very powerful tactic that you definitely need to keep in mind on an Accuplacer math test, which one you're taking. Okay, so let's bring us to our last point, and this is really, really important as well, is time limit. Okay, as far as I know, there is no time limit on the Accuplacer exams. Now, of course, maybe your particular school might do it different, but in general, there is no time limit. So basically, you just, you're done when you're done. Of course, there's always kind of a time limit. You may have a certain time. You maybe only have X amount of minutes or hours, whatever, to do the exam. But just know that if it's not like the SAT where you have 20 minutes to do this or 30 minutes to do a particular math section, like you could just focus and take the time pressure off. Those timed exams, SAT and ACT, you have to come out those tests completely different because now it's a big time management issue. But if time is not an issue, then that just really, is another advantage for you to do, as best as you can on these exams, especially if you need to go back and check every answer in your multiple choice scenarios. So there should be no excuse there in terms of, oh, I was under the gun, I had to quit. So I guess my other tip here would be, being that that's the case, make sure that the day you're going to be taking Accuplacer, try to give yourself as much time as you possibly can on your personal schedule so you don't have any conflicts, so you can have as much time as you need to be as accurate as possible, because you want to score as high as you can on the any Accuplacer exam. You want to get to the highest level so you save yourself time and money, right? So you don't land in a math course that you really shouldn't have to be in. So this is a super important stuff, and I think the nature of this test, if you do a little pre-work and obviously get some good preparation material, and for the Accuplacer, especially for the QAS, well, all of them actually, but you can be covering a lot of ground in math. Believe me, as a middle and high school math teacher, that's a lot of mathematics. So just because you might have done well in your SAT or ACT, or I took those math classes before, that's not going to lend yourself to. That's not really good plan for the Accuplacer, because you need to have this stuff fresh in your mind and to have practiced a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's go and wrap this video up. Again, I hope these tips will help you out. I know for sure they will, because I've been doing this for a long, long time. If you want to check out my Accuplacer Math Test Prep courses, I'm going to leave the links to all of them in the description of this video. Also, on my YouTube channel, I literally have hundreds of videos I'm posting all the time that can help you out with various Accuplacer exams. And if you like this video, if you think it's like good stuff, definitely appreciate a thumbs up, and leave me some feedback. Have you been kind of confused about the Accuplacer, which one to take? Not quite sure. I could totally understand that. Excuse me. And also, there's another test out there called the ALEX, which is another placement exam. So I don't know if schools give students the option. Remember, every school is different, and a lot of people. This is a national exam, so it all depends on your school and how they kind of run that. Some might prefer the Accuplacer, some might prefer the ALEX, but generally speaking, there's still placement exams, and these ideas will still, generally be the same. All right. Well, that being said, I definitely wish you best in your college endeavors, and especially in mathematics. There's a great opportunity to really place high, even if you've done not that well in math before. I'm telling you right now, if you have the right, get the right study materials and have the right plan and the right information, you could do really well. So with that being said, I wish you all the best. Thank you for your time and have a great day.